Hey everybody, it's Matt. I'm at the Tupelo World of Customs, and I've actually seen this vehicle before at Chicago and made friends with Greg. This is Greg Wilson, and he is from Louisville, Kentucky. Greg, why don't you tell us a little bit about your past with showing cars? You started out loving Volkswagens, you told me, right?
Oh yeah, I love Volkswagens and Woodies and the beach.
Yep. And I guess you had made you restored lots of cars, but two of them were Woodies, right?
This is our third Woody that we've ever owned.
Okay. And for those of you that don't know, this vehicle was picked as one of the Great 8 at the Detroit Autorama in 2020. And just real quickly to give you a little bit of background, to be able to qualify for the Riddler Award, tell them what the rules are, first of all.
Well, the way I understand it is it has to be a first-time show.
Right.
You can't show any pictures. You can't hardly tell anybody about it.
Right.
It's a pretty secretive deal.
Right, right.
That's kind of hard to do.
Right. So I read your book, and I'll just show this book real quick. This has lots of great pictures about the build, but as I read the book, one of the things that occurred to me is it doesn't really say where or when you got the idea to build Driftwood.
Well,
about what year was it?
Well, it's been about 7 years ago.
Okay. So just to give you an idea of everybody, it took 7 years from concept to full execution, right?
So yeah, it takes a lot of time.
So when did you guys actually I saw the sketches of when you guys started to design the idea. It was you and a friend, right, that decided to build it?
It's Cecil Taylor from Hercules Motor Car Company in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
We were sitting at my kitchen table one day, and I told him, I said, hey buddy, we need to build a truck. He said, well, I never built one. I said, well, that don't mean you can't, does it?
Right.
He said, no, I think I could build one.
Right. So this truck was never actually in production, right? No. So this is a total concept in your mind of basically taking. Most people know what a Woody is. It looks like a miniature Suburban, but it had a lot of wood on it, right? Yeah. So they didn't make a Woody truck that looks anything like this, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
They made some trucks that had a steel cab with a wooden bed.
Okay.
And then they made station wagons, and then they made some open air station wagons,
okay,
which was called Hucksters.
Right.
So Cecil designed a truck, and one day he called me and he said, hey, the next time you're down here, I need you to come over and look at something.
Right, and he was in Florida, right?
He was in Florida, and I was in Kentucky.
Yep.
So I went down there, and he had the bed made out of plywood and had the cab made out of cardboard.
Okay.
And he said, so this is probably where we're at.
So it was a kind of a mock-up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, and so I also read in the book that you used parts from, I think, a 1929 and a 1932 vehicle. Tell them about that. So the front fenders are from what?
Well, the front fenders and the rear fenders are from the 29.
Okay.
The grill and the grill shell is from a 32.
A 32 Ford. Ford. Okay. Was that a Model A or a Model?
No, it would be a Model A.
A Model A.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the hood sides are from a 32 Chevrolet.
Okay.
Because I really like the looks of the doors.
Okay. You're talking about the sides right here?
Yeah, the hood sides.
Okay.
So when we got this thing kind of together, and I picked it up in Tampa, I brought it back to Kentucky, and then I got with Brad Starks, and he's in Paducah, Kentucky.
Right. A great builder, right? He's built some good cars.
Yeah, he's built some nice cars. And then he took Cecil's ideal and put some of his ideals in it and some more of my ideals in it. And that's kind of where we ended up. But we have a 49 to 53 Mercury flathead in it.
Okay, and so for those of you who don't know what that is, a lot of people are not as big a car nerds as we are. Why they call these flatheads is because the spark plugs are actually on top of the hood instead of down here where you would normally have them.
Yeah.
So completely different design, but it's a very common design in the 50s, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, and a very good motor, but just didn't make a lot of horsepower.
Right.
And but it's a really pretty motor.
Right, and you'll see a lot of cool things on it, like the spark plug wires are actually what they looked like back then, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure they're custom made to match the car.
Yeah.
And then the carburetors are those like old Webers or what are those?
Them are Rochesters.
Old Rochesters. Okay,
and,
cool.
A fella in Montana, Larry Fullerton of Hot Rod Carbs, he designed the intake and the carburetors for me.
Cool.
He'd done 2 other sets for me.
And is this the alternator, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And so that's cool because it looks like a generator, but it's an alternator.
It looks like a generator. Yep. And all of the wires was hand braided. I don't know if you can see that down in there. but they actually braided these
Oh, I see.
wires
Yep.
together.
And that's also really common in the older.
In the older days, and
Yep.
it's all cloth wire,
Right.
instead of the plastic.
Something else I thought was really cool in the book is the fan, and the fan shroud is a custom design.
Oh yes.
So that's actually an electric fan, right?
Yes, sir.
But it looks like what you would see in an old belt-driven
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Same thing with the radiator hoses.
Yeah.
Those would also be, a lot of times they did have pipe, right? Instead
Yeah,
of,
oh, yeah.
And so that, you look at things like the hose clamps. I mean, these are all, I'm sure, custom made.
Yeah, them are all custom.
Really, really cool touches. So,
a lot of different things went into it.
and I get asked a lot, having a car, I'm sure you get asked a lot too. People say, well, did you build it yourself? Well, I tell people, hey, I'm the architect, the designer, the banker, all the above, right?
Everybody's got to be everything, yeah, but you can't do it without a lot of good people.
That's right.
To help you. And,
That's right.
As I tell them, everybody builds something.
Yep, right. You got to get a team of professionals.
You got to have a lot of professionals.
Tell us a little bit about the Underside. I see you have a modern transmission, right? It's the
it's a 200R transmission.
right.
And what we did was we had to make a plate, an adapter plate to marry the Ford motor to the Chevrolet transmission.
Cool.
And we casted that out of aluminum.
I'm going to get to the interior in just a minute. Also, I noticed, what's that drive down there? Is that like next to the transmission pan? That chrome, that's the shifting mechanism and all that stuff, I guess?
No, that's the master cylinder.
Oh, the master cylinder for the brakes.
The cylinder is underneath of it.
Okay, cool.
But you have to, when you do that, you have to put proportionate valves, and then you have to put check valves in them lines, because it's all on the same level to keep the fluid from running back into the master cylinder.
And I went through this on my own build. People don't realize that when you're planning a build like this, every part and piece that you plan on having chromed has to be sent out in a bag, in a box, to a chrome shop, hoping that when it comes back,
you get everything.
You'll be able to everything you sent, and you'll remember where the hell it goes, right?
Yeah, because you always forget something as you're doing it.
Yep. And so think about that, everybody. You have to plan months ahead. You have to put the car together, take it apart, and then send some of those parts off to be chromed or painted, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It just takes months and years to do.
We worked on this car 5 years.
Wow. I mean, literally 5 years to do it. Yep.
Literally.
Thousands, I'm sure, thousands upon 10,000s of hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
5 years of my life was into this.
So when you look at the interior, one of the things that I think I love the most when I first saw it is the wicker.
Yes, sir.
The wicker. That's a great feature because it just says old school.
That was 100% Cecil Taylor's design. He's a wicker guy.
Yeah. And then the seat is really cool because it has like a leather webbing.
Yeah, the seat Tracy Weaver in Omaha, Nebraska, did the interior, and he wanted the seat to look like an old lounge chair.
Okay, cool.
And
it looks really cool.
To me, is one of the most prettiest parts.
It is. I mean, it's beautiful. Just talk a little bit about the woodworking to build the cab and the bed. I mean, this is made out of oak. Is that right?
No, this is maple.
Oh, maple. Okay.
It's made out of hard rock maple, and like I say, Cecil at Hercules, he's the woody guy.
Yep.
He's made around 100 woodies in his lifetime in Tampa.
That's amazing. And so, I mean, the details just go on and on forever. The surfboard to match is it's got his name on it, Wilson. I mean, that's just so cool. The back window.
Yeah, we made the back window to where it would slide up and down,
right,
to make it just different. And then the Driftwood emblem, of course, that's all custom made.
Right,
we had that made, but that was the same exact size and just like the one that Ford would have put out, and it said custom cab.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, like the tires and wheels. Talk about where you got those and why you chose those.
Well, they're Dayton wire wheels, and I choose them because I really like the old school look, and of course they was all made for this truck.
Right.
And each one of them spokes was hand polished before they install them, and then it's just like a bicycle wheel. You have to true it as you tighten them up.
Wow, amazing.
And then the tires are from Diamondback, and they've all been shaved, all the letters and everything off of them.
Right, and that's something I've talked to people about too with So also no lug nuts, right? It's a spin
well,
off.
that's a true knockoff wheel.
Okay, right. So basically you got to spin that knob to get the wheels off.
And you have to hit that thing with a solid lead hammer as hard as you can hit it.
To knock it loose.
And
yeah.
I don't understand how it don't tear it up.
Yeah, me neither. So what he was talking about with the tires, everybody, is if you look, there's no lettering at all on these tires. And that's something that I was taught from top builders like these guys here, that you don't want to, there ain't no stubble.
No.
There ain't no cast from the tires. It has to be baby butt smooth.
It's just crazy.
Yep. Also, you'll notice all the fasteners, there's no exposed threads. Acorn nuts everywhere. Again, these are where I learned some of the tricks. I noticed the tail lights are blue dot.
Yeah.
Tail lights. Tell me where those came from. Do you have any idea? Or are those custom made?
No, them come from Ventique.
Okay.
And they make a lot of Model A and Model T parts.
That's cool.
And custom parts.
So when you get underneath this thing and look at the differential, where'd you guys pick the differential from?
That's a winner's quick change is what that's called.
Okay.
And then we have coilover shocks on the back.
Right. And then the ladder bar or
the radius rods. Them are from Alan Johnson.
Yep.
And he made them special. And then we made the ones on the front to match.
Right. So you can see the shocks go up into those covers. So I would imagine like your fuel lines and everything is all hidden by those covers.
Yeah, yep. we made the roll pans to cover everything up. So that's one of the things that they don't want to see. Is they don't want to see all these things to make it functional.
Right.
But it has to be functional.
Right, you have to hide. And so I get at this question a lot too, and you can answer this. A lot of people ask me, well, do you still drive the car in and out of the trailer, right? Maybe. Maybe if you have to. Right, but talk about the spot checks, like what's required to make your car eligible.
It has to start and run, and
right.
then you have to drive a little road course, pull
yep.
forward and backwards and turn left and right.
Right. So, I mean, that's a lot. I get that question a lot. Is there even gasoline or oil in the engine? Of course there is. They really are functioning cars.
But some people just don't understand.
Yep.
How they could be functional to be looking like this.
I mean, it just goes on and on. When I first saw it in Chicago, I was like, that has got to be one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And just my own opinion also is that this truck looks like it could have been built this way, which is, I think,
yeah, that's amazing.
One of the best compliments I can give you is that.
It is. And my hat's off to Cecil Taylor and Brad Starks because they helped me live my dream.
Yep. Which was to what?
To go to Detroit and win a grade A.
Yep, and that's fantastic. So thank you for doing this. And this is my buddy Dave Huber, the road dog.
The road dog.
Yep.
He comes all the way from Kentucky.
Road dog.
Yep. He's a Kentucky Wildcats fan, but he told me they don't have that great a basketball team this year. But he said
we won't hold that against you.
Yep. But this is why I love doing car shows, because I get to meet great people. I get to see probably the best. I mean, this is the NFL, the MLB of car shows. This
is the Super Bowl right here.
Yep.
Hey, I gotta thank one more person, man. My lovely wife.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for her, she wouldn't let me do it. Well, she probably couldn't stop me from doing it, but she don't get mad when I do it. How's that?
I feel the same about mine, and that's very well deserved that you say that to her.
This is a family event.
Yep. So even though we're in the small town of Tupelo, Mississippi, you know, like you were sharing with me why you came to this show.
Well, because the people that run this show are so nice.
Yep.
You know, they went out of their way to come to Chicago and invite us.
Yep.
And I think if they go out of their way, you ought to go out of your way and try to pay them back.
Yep, I agree.
And that's why we're all in this. You know, the cars bring you together, but it's all about the people.
Yep. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg, for letting me do this. I have a lot of friends that are really going to enjoy this, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.